research shows that around about 2% of greenhouse gas emissions are produced by IT. That's obviously the production and use, and then obviously end of life process. So the focus that we have is to ensure that we quantify the impact when we speak to customers and manufacturers of what they're doing with their IT, and then show them a better way of doing it, and therefore abate the future GHG emissions. So primarily, really, we're trying to reduce the carbon footprint of IT now and moving forward. So the inspiration for me is current methodologies that work on that carbon footprint of IT tend to ignore the actual human-computer interaction. So that's when we're using the computer. So most of the emissions are based on quantification of low power modes, including off, sleep, idle, but don't actually look at the active mode. And the thing is, the active mode's when the power draw is the highest. Therefore, that's when we're creating carbon emissions. So what inspired me was to work out how to actually look at making sure that we can quantify that meaningfully, introduce it into the equation and make sure that's included in the carbon footprint calculation.
Armed with those baseline figures and those metrics about how those devices really perform wherever they're being used, then they're given that map, if you like, of the emissions, where they're coming from, and some advice on what they can do about it. Simply by changing operating system on some devices, you can save just under 20% of the energy using the same device, but effectively in a slightly different way. But if we look at more fundamental change to lower energy devices, or say cloud data centers, things like that, then you can be looking at 60%, 70% savings. The interest in this is huge. So our customers now include central government, multinational organizations, major charities, all sorts of sizes of businesses, from a few hundred up to several 100,000 users. As a result, year on year, we've grown over 500% in comparison with last year. So you can see that this is really picking up as a business, but also, as a top level concern for organizations in terms of what they're focused on and what they're willing to invest in order to make a change.
I think the most exciting development for us is, firstly, Google have adopted our technologies and our applications as what they call their foundation for their sustainability strategy for the Chrome operating system and also the end user computing side of the business. The other thing that's most exciting for me, you mentioned it earlier, is the public sector adoption. We have our dynamic carbon footprint application, which is for procurement teams to be able to assess devices on sustainability criteria. That's in beta test at the moment with some of the largest UK government departments and local councils currently, and they're looking to adopt that so that they can ensure they put that within their procurement strategies. So that for me is so exciting.
I think one of the main things for us really is that in order to be credible in the marketplace, we have to be associated with market-leading academia. So whenever we talk to a customer of any size, whether it's Google, whether it's AstraZeneca, or one of the other large organizations we deal with, we lead with the fact that the research we've done is academically verified by Warwick University and Warwick Business School, who are the two organisations who are overseeing Justin's PhD. So for us, and being based out of the University Innovation Centre, that really gives us the credibility that what we're doing is not greenwash, it's not an invention. Well, it is an invention, but it's a good invention, if you like. It's a verified invention rather than something that's just based on something that people have dreamed up. We're the only people that we know of worldwide who've got a method of doing this that's verified by academia and based on published and peer-reviewed science. And for us, that's critical to the credibility of the company.